Okay guys, so let's get the party started. We've got, well, firstly positive news, meaning iPhone users can now send Bitcoin directly from a lock screen. So that is a great thing. iOS 18 basically has this feature now. First of all, Bitcoin and then Kaspa, of course. So guys, let's have a look at the very short time frame for BTC to actually have a look what kind of momentum we can expect. At 2 hourly time frame, guys, we are basically seeing this. Okay, the price is going towards the downside. Well, stochastic RSI is going towards the downside, and we are experiencing the downtrend move. 1 hourly is basically showing that stochastic RSI has bottomed out. So let's have a look at 4 hourly. So this is what's going on 4 hourly time frame, and potentially the price could go towards the downside. So looking at the daily time frame for BTC, this is what's going on, right? So I think the scenario number one, if you guys are paying attention and you're looking at my updates every single day, scenario number one could potentially play if the momentum is going to be strong enough. Okay, so scenario number two, of course, is that sooner or later this thing is going to dump, because that happened in the past. I don't really have to look far away. So as you guys see, the stochastic RSI dipped into this level. Okay, so potentially we could see either this and bounce, or this and then bounce, but at some point it's going to go towards the downside. Nothing really lasts forever. So as I was mentioning in the previous video, that major level of liquidity, at least during yesterday's video, was at $57,135 roughly. So that of course is going to coincide with this resistance, which basically has many confirmations in here, as you guys can clearly see. Even if we are going to dip short term, however, longer term picture for BTC is basically showing this bullish reversal. So now one thing about BTC is that I would like to show, actually let me come back to the 4 hourly time frame. Even if the price is dipping on a 4 hourly time frame, or whatever the time frame you are looking at, I would imagine probably short time frame, you can clearly see that BTC is basically in that, well, channel of possibility, I believe, as you guys see roughly in here. So this is an upward channel and we could go like this. Okay, however, one thing to remember is that if I'm going to switch it to the daily time frame, guys, is that we are, the price of BTC is still battling with this overall trend. Not mentioning about all of this, which is all downtrend, right? So in my opinion, could we go towards this downside, still trade in that formation, maybe a little bit of shaky, and then finally the breakout depending on the momentum, or a little bit of a breakout, then retest and then pump? Heck, let's see what is going to happen in the next couple of days, guys. But before we are going to look at the price of Kaspa, I would like to have a look at liquidity very quickly, guys. So many people are shorting the market at the moment, and this is 48-hour heat map. Okay, so these are 2 days basically. We do have a lot of liquidity sitting in that area, so I'm going to allow myself to place a horizontal line at price of 61,428 for BTC. Okay guys, so roughly this zone, so basically that is confirming the support and resistance kind of a model in here as well, guys. And of course I'm not going to go back. I hope that this makes sense, right? Because liquidity is basically in here. So now logically, to me at least, not a financial advice, guys, please remember that nothing in this video is a financial advice. I am just letting you know what are my opinions on the current situation on the market. So what can potentially happen? We could potentially see the dip towards the area of 57k again, and then jump towards 61k to grab both of these liquidities. Of course, I'm not entirely sure what liquidity is going to be grabbed first, but what we can expect for the next, let's say, 2-3 days is the price ranging between these two zones. And now, knowing all of this, guys, it's going to be much easier to kind of see what can potentially happen to Kaspa. So if BTC is going to dip to that lower level of 57k, that can potentially drive the price of Kaspa towards this level of a support, which is that mid-range that belongs into that big channel, upward channel, that is currently happening for Kaspa's price action. And now, guys, let's have a look at the daily time frame. What is going on the daily? So as you guys see, the daily time frame is basically showing very similar thing as BTC basically. So we are dipping, the stochastic RSI is dipping into roughly this mid-range. okay, and potentially we could see the scenario number one, which is pumping towards here and then creating a couple of waves if the momentum is strong, or we are going to see the dip on the daily. Because again, if I'm going to look at the weekly time frame, guys, and stochastic RSI is basically showing us, you know, such momentum. So things are still looking very bullish if we are actually going to focus on a zoomed out picture for Kaspa and of course overall crypto market, guys. So as I was mentioning in a previous updates, I do expect Kaspa at some point to finally hit this level in here, which is going to be roughly 22-23 cents, and then the second one is going to be probably in here. Well, the time is going to show, and now let's have a look at the dashboard. So the current word is sitting at 87, next one is going to be 82, next reduction is scheduled in 16 days, and we are sitting at 86.1% mined, and the current hash rate is sitting at 1.1 exahash per second. All-time highs are sitting at 1.16. So market cap is sitting at 4.1 billion USD. The ranking is still 21. That is obviously very, very good. And we've got almost 53 million of volume in the last 48 hours. So now the overall market looks at still neutral according to coinglass.com. And now, guys, let's have a look at the BTC inflows. So as of yesterday, 17th of September, Bitcoin experienced 186.8 million USD of positive inflows. However, BlackRock haven't purchased anything. Every single time in previous cycles, BTC is basically hovering around that zone, which also is actually creating a bull flag, that downward channel. Then we see a huge breakout towards the upside. So, you know, that played basically what, in 2017, that played in 2020, and that most likely, of course, nothing is a guarantee in this market, but I'm pretty much confident that at some point we are going to see that push towards the upside for BTC and of course our beloved Kaspa. And now Mr. Prof is saying that history doesn't repeat itself, but it often rhymes. And sometimes you see things in the market cap chart of the BTC that you don't see in the normal price chart. Black trend line has lasted for 7 years. Similarities to the last cycles are astonishing. So guys, this is not the price for BTC. This is the chart of the actual market cap for BTC. But as you guys see, BTC's market cap is basically holding that strong level of, you know, support basically, and never dipped below that. Well, that was a wick. Obviously there was a shaky in here if you guys are going to look at that arrow. However, if we are going to look at this purple line, that is basically very, very similar, well, pretty much identical, just like this one, which is actually holding support quite nicely as well. So if that is going to play out properly, we could see some huge pumps. And yes, you're probably thinking, yeah, but we already saw and we are dumping towards the downside because it's a bear cycle. Well, we do have to remember that ETFs basically sped up the game a little bit this cycle, and obviously we have a sell-off. And on the top of that, Bitcoin is forming a massive cap and handle pattern. So this is something that you guys will probably seen in a previous updates. That is a bullish pattern. Bitcoin 3 daily chart shows MACD starting to break out and converging triangle. When this happens, the same price action in the last bull cycles after pullback. We believe the current pullback has almost completed and a new bull rally is coming. Well, so have a look. We've got these, well, falling wedges, basically falling triangles, whatever, and after that we are experiencing a huge breakout towards the upside, well, based on MACD, and also that coincides with the price of BTC too. So this is what's going on currently, and if the history is going to play out just like it did 2 times ago, well, we could expect some fireworks. And now, guys, very important thing, Bitcoin versus USA elections. Obviously the market is anticipating this bullish catalyst that I believe is USA elections. So let's have a look what happened. So we got USA elections that, well, occurred in here, and after that we saw a huge pump, well, second cycle as well, and this is where we are at the moment, guys. So history, well, in my opinion at least, not a financial advice of course, is going to repeat or at least rhyme. Ladies and gents, that's it what I've got for you today. I hope that you have guys enjoyed, and as always, peace and love crypto.